a convert to the
Okay, start
I'm a
over.
con I'm a convert to the church, and I joined at the age of 18. At about 17 or 18, I was given an assignment in high school by my American history teacher to uh, trace our family tree. And at that time, I did not even know the names of my grandparents because they were all dead before I was born. I became really interested in, and I actually gained a real desire to know about my family. And I started working on my family tree, and doing, and my sister and I were doing family history, and doing temple work for our deceased ancestors. I am now in my 80s, and I love researching my family history and sharing family history stories with my family. My maiden name is Duncan, and family lore has been that our family are descendants of King Duncan, who was made famous in William Shakespeare's play Macbeth. Growing up, my siblings and I were teased by our friends about our last name, but we loved it. In high school, I had to memorize parts of Macbeth as assignment, and still remember the double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble poem that the witches in Macbeth chanted. We know that Shakespeare was known to take creative liberties with history and blend in a lot of poetry and plots. However, despite 80 plus years of doing research, actually 60 plus years of doing research, I was unable to find ancestral connections to Scotland and Ireland and England. All of our pedigree charts ended at the Atlantic Ocean, and we were unable to cross the pond to the British Isles. We had researched all we had searched all of the websites, including Family Search and Ancestry, and even had my last living brother's DNA test to try to make a connection with relatives in Scotland. However, none of that had worked, and we were still blocked with ancestors in Virginia and North Carolina in the 1600s and 1700s because we didn't know their birth dates or locations in the British Isles. All of that changed about a month ago in September of 2025, when our ancestors on Family Search suddenly had birth locations of our Virginia and North Carolina ancestors and their parents in Scotland and the British Isles and France and Italy. This was because others had made the connections that we had not been unable to do. This effort, this team effort by my distant cousins on Family Search is what makes it so valuable. They had found connections that I had not been able to find. Many of my newly found ancestors have portraits, so I can look for family resemblances. While we haven't made it back to King Duncan of Scotland, who was born over 1,000 years ago in 1001 AD, we have got relatives with the last name of Duncan in the 1200s, so we think we are up on the right path. Some of the connections still need to be validated, but that is more than I have been able to do. This is more than I have been able to do in the last 60 years. Using this same research on Family Search, I am now able to see that I am related to the Macbeth family, cousins of King Duncan. Lots of kings and queens and lords and ladies, and I am a direct descendant of King James, that the King James Version of the Bible is named after. I still haven't found any references to the witches that Shakespeare wrote about.